Hi coaches, this whiteboard segment is about actual game coaching, about what to say to your players and what to do during the course of a game where, boy, I don't know what to say, I don't know what to tell my people, I don't know during timeouts if I should call them, when I should call them. Just by you being there and being a positive influence on your players is not only a great start but a great finish. Your players are going to look at you and watch all that you do, and they're going to try to mimic and try to listen at the little nuggets that you're going to give them throughout the course of the day. Remember, this is a game, so there's a lot going on. There are the other teams involved, there are officials, there are parents, there's the scoreboard. It's a lot to take in, and so you don't want your kids to be overwhelmed with information. The old information overload deal is very important. So let's go over a few things. The first point, positive versus negative. And even at the college level, one of the things we always said was, hey, we're going to completely eliminate the negative. No matter how bad things get, we're going to stay positive, and we're going to try to tell our people exactly what they need to do all the time in a positive way. Negativism will bring about, they'll get defensive, you may get tears, you're going to get parents that are going to be not happy with you. They can only lead down a very bad road, especially when it comes to being negative with the officials. The officials may be your neighbors, they may be your friends, they may be high school kids whose parents you know. You don't want to be getting on the officials for bad calls. Believe me, they're not getting paid enough to be there probably in the first place. If they're high school kids, or if they're guys who are new to officiating, who are just really there to help the league, you don't really want to say a word to these guys, or ladies as the case may be. There's just no place for that in rec basketball. And even discussions with officials shouldn't be about, hey, that was a block, that was a charge, that's a moving screen. Don't you officiate the game. You should be talking to your players about some of the things we're going to talk about later, and that's really it. Keep hustling, keep playing, work together, share the ball. Those points are really what you should be saying over and over to yourself, even on the way in the car to the game. Just, hey, let's be positive. It doesn't matter who wins or loses. I'm sorry, it just doesn't. It's nice to win a championship, and it's fine, but a year from now, nobody's going to remember and nobody's going to care. What they will remember is the kind of experience that they had with you as a coach coaching their son or daughter, and how you handle yourself during games and how you handle yourself during practice. That's what people will remember most. And keep that in mind even as you're working with kids. That should be in the forefront of your mind all the time. Like I said, don't worry about the score. The score is irrelevant. If you're up by 20, down by 20, you just want to point out to your players very, very basic things. Share the ball. Help each other out. Hustle after every ball. Hustle on every play. Just play the game. Don't worry about anything else that's happening on the floor or with the other team or whatever the case may be. Just play, and just play hard. What to say during timeouts? Basically these things. Your players have an attention span in games is going to be about 10 seconds, maybe 5 seconds, maybe less. So they're not going to understand things like, well, we're not getting any rebounds, so we got to box out, and so that means you really have to put a body on somebody and make sure you block them out of the lane. Now, if a shot goes up and you're in help, make sure you go over. They've lost you after the second word. Now, what they might understand are things like, hey, let's hustle after the rebounds, because they're thinking to themselves, hustle, and they're thinking rebounds. Okay, I'll hustle. That's probably about it. During timeouts, though, you can say some other things like, hey, stay together, we're fine. If you put a smile on your face and you just tell them to hustle and to play hard and to get after people and play with some spunk and play with some energy, that's what they're going to do. They're going to go out and do that. On the flip side, if you're yelling at the officials or yelling at, that's what the players are going to do. They're going to look at you and say, boy, he's really getting on or she's really getting on the officials. I wonder if I said something, maybe that'll work too. They, come on, ref, make a call. Now you have real problems, because now your players are emulating you in a negative way. And so this is what they're building their foundation of being a basketball player on. It's at the 3rd, 4th, 5th grade level. Some of these kids, the first time they've ever played before, they watch a lot of television. They see coaches get on the officials and players get on officials, never for the right reasons. You have to make sure as a coach you nip all these things in the bud. If you see that happening on the floor with your players, if they're getting on the officials or they're starting to show negative body language, you have to immediately nip that right away and say, hey, the next play, let's get the next play. Don't worry about it. Get the next one. Get the next one. Come on, let's go. Hustle. Show some hustle. Help each other out. These keys right here, these little things are what you can say during timeouts. If you don't care really about what the score is, your players won't either. They will just play, which is fine. Don't worry about the officials. Keep everything positive. When you do that, it will be a great experience both for you, your players, and everybody involved.